Alright, listen up. I just rebooted Terminator T-800 from the ground up. Chrome, cables, glowing red death eyes. The whole Welcome to JudgmentDay package. Hollywood needed a studio and a fortune. I did it in my spare time. And maybe woke Skynet in the process. So here's the deal. You will get the no bullshit Lookdev playbook from raw mesh to killer chrome and the stealth lighting trick that makes those eyes burn through your screen. Welcome back to Primal VFX. I'm your host Skart, and if you want to see more cool shit like that, smash the like button to keep the machines at bay, subscribe for more VFX mayhem, and let's trigger these things right now! Before we dive into the heart of this video, ask yourself, do you ever dream of crafting 3D cinematic sci-fi worlds? Well, buckle up because I've got something extraordinary for you. Welcome to an unexpected odyssey, Episode 1, Environment Modeling with Maya. This full course is your gateway to mastering the art of modeling and designing immersive environments. I will be sharing with you how to plan and organize personal projects, keep motivation, and be efficient in tackling such a large environment scene. Discover a seamless modeling workflow that thrives on precision, channeling attention towards shapes, forms, and harmonious proportions. Uncover ingenious kitbashing and modular asset strategies that infuse life into your scenes. Let's turn your dreams into stunning reality. The adventure begins now, and you can join the journey over at primalvfx.com. Alright, reference hunting time, folks. Every CG showdown starts with ammo, so I packed my pure rev board with the heavy hitters. Raw stills, straight from Terminator, that legendary James Cameron on-set shot. A full-size T-800 practical build, plus a pair of AI-generated mood frames that ooze chrome-soaked doom. Those two AI frames are my T-800 target lock for the lighting, hang tight, and I'll show you how I hack them into submission. Roll in mid-journey. If you've been living under a render farm, it's the text prompt warlock that spits out art faster than Skynet compiles kill lists. Top of the UI, prompt bar. Under that, model settings, ratio toggles, personalization sliders, everything you need to bend pixels to your will. I hammered the machine with drafts. Some prompts came back pretty, but vanilla. Others got closer to that rusted wasteland from hell vibe, but still not my vibe. After a few tweaks and curse words, I nailed the final spell, feeding it the hero movie stills, so it knew exactly how angry Chrome should look. Boom! Cinematic perfection. Next stop, Photoshop. The composition was close. A quick horizontal flip fixed the eyeline. Then I needed a clean backplate for compositing, so I lassoed the Endoskeleton, hit generative fill with zero extra text, and watched Adobe Magic Eraser the cyborg into oblivion. 10 seconds, spotless background, mic drop, but we're not posting potato pixels. Enter Upscale, the free AI upres wizard. Drag the plate in, pick the Ultramix model, tell it 4x, and slam Upscale. One coffee later, I've got an 8K frigging monster ready to slot behind our render without falling apart on a big screen. Ready for the next round? We'll tear down this endoskeleton and gear it up for a liquid metal makeover. Come with me if you want to render. Alright, time to give our project some actual metal. I blast through CG Trader, smash T-800 into the search bar, and boom! Wall-to-wall endoskeletons. Half are scrapyard junk, half are overpriced museum pieces, but one catches my eye. Chrome menace, oversized plasma rifle, gnarly surface detail, and the price tag won't make my wallet self-terminate. Shout out to 3D Wicked for the goods.
Shut up and take my money!
Into the cart it goes. Download complete. Cut to Maya. I've imported the model, and there he is, our shiny skull crusher standing in viewport glory. The mesh is surprisingly clean. Individual pistons, panel seams, cables that actually connect somewhere. Perfect playground for Lookdev carnage. I split the geometry into 3 clean chunks: core endoskeleton, display base, and those iconic red-eye orbs. Check the outliner, zero mess. Good hierarchies are like Skynet directives. Obey them or the whole system melts down. Your future teammates and your future self will thank you. Model locked, outliner tidy, ego satisfied. Next up we switch the lights on, dial the mood, and make this bucket of bolts look like it just crawled out of a steel mill on Judgment Day. Alright, lights out and lasers on. Time to make this skull crusher photogenic. I slam a new camera into the scene, punch the res to 4K, pop the gate mask, and hunt for that sweet cinematic focal length. 50mm feels like Cameron's lens, so we lock it. I slap my AI reference plate in the background, dial the alpha down just enough to peek through, and nudge the T-800 until the silhouette screams "Hasta la vista." Reference served its purpose, delete, rename the cam, main cam, boom, tidy. Next I pull in my studio Lookdev rig, coat the wall with an AI standard surface dubbed AI backdrop. Color to a dark gray, drop its roughness to 0.35 and IR to 1.45. For dome lighting, I pipe an HDRI into the color slot, switch the color space to raw, because we are professionals. Spin the dome 50 degrees, halve the intensity, then run the feed through an IE color correct node, and increase the gamma to 1.5. Saturation no need to be touched, but you can if you want to. Now we light this bad boy like he's stepping onto a Skynet catwalk. I drop the first area light into the scene, crank its roundness and soft edge to 0.5 each, kill normalize, so the watts actually matter. Before the chrome even knows what hit it, I slap on a temporary IE standard surface, named it T-800 and applied it to the model. Flood the base with a mid-gray, metallic to 1, roughness to 0.45. Instant factory fresh steel. Light goes backstage for a razor-thin rim. I smash the solo button, slide it until the edge of that skull glows like molten silver, then use the exposure to +2 and tag it rim light in the outliner because organization doesn't have to suck. Duplicate, shrink, hover it dead center above the head, a hardcore surgery lamp rain showering the plates. Duplicate again, swing left for the key, have its exposure so it kisses, not nukes. Now duplicate the light one more time. This one's our fill. I bump the exposure to +3, clone once more, pivot it to the right. Then angle it down like a tungsten sniper, then mini-size it for a tighter highlight. Backdrop feeling too cheery. I drop its weight a few notches into dusk. Shader needs bite. So I darken the base one stop further until the metal eats reflections for breakfast. Now the Kelvin dance. Rim light sizzles at 4000K, sunset hot. Overhead flips Arctic at 8000 Kelvin. Right and left lights to 4000K too. Fill stays neutral so the chrome sings. The T-800 is officially lit like Judgment Day press photos. And that, my friends, is our base light rig. Next round, we touch the polish, bullet scars, battle grime, pure Skynet swagger. Okay, time to trash that showroom gloss and give our T-800 the Judgment Day patina it deserves. I jump into a fresh T-800 tab, yank up the hero shader and start brutalizing it. Base weight down to 0.8, color or hair darker, roughness to 0.35, coat weight to 1 and IR to 1.45. Already feels less toy, more nightmare. Now for the specular scars. I drag a scratch map into Hypershade, flip its color space to raw, feed it through an IE triplanar and an IE range, then drag the result straight into specular roughness. Scale the triplanar till the lines feel machine-milled. Remap the lows and highs. Check the pixel readouts. Chef's kiss. Next, fingerprints. Same dance, map, raw, triplanar, range. Done. I stack both layers with an I-layer RGBA, set the operation to multiply, and ride the mix slider until the reflections break like shattered chrome. Gorgeous. Base color needs grit, so I wire up an AI noise. Create a complex pattern and two subtly different grays. Then brighten the edges with an AI curvature, driving an AI multiply. curvature radius up, multiply gain at 5. And the skull now catches light like it's been headbutting concrete since '84. Normal map time. A dedicated scratch, normal goes raw, triplanar and AI bump 3D. Flip the bump depth to negative 0.5 so the edges cut inward, not bubble out, and the metal suddenly feels tactile enough to slice knuckles. But chrome without grime is cosplay, so I cook up a dirt pass. New AI standard surface dubbed AI Dirt. Roughness cranked, IOR tanked. I blend it with the main shader via an AI mix shader. That's driven by an AI ambient occlusion. Samples 8, spread 0.3, inverted colors. IO gets an extra grunge mask to break up the fall off. So once again map to raw, create a triplanar and a range node. Remap the values in the range node, with output max to 1.5. And a second range node before the mix for fine-grained contrast control. Dial the dirt back to charcoal and watch the cavities clog up like battlefield grease. Eyes next. Fresh AI standard surface. Call it AI eyes and shove it onto the ocular geometry. Ready orange base color. Roughness 0.35, IOR 1.35. Then slam emission weight to 10 with a fireball hue. The viewport practically screams. Zoom out, scratches, smudges, dents, dirt, molten eyes. This thing's a war trophy now, not a collectible. Ready for the grand finale? Time to kick this metal beast into nuke. Drop nodes like cinematic LUTs until the frame swears at you in binary. Alright, let's hop into Nuke and show this render who's boss. Feast your eyes on this fully loaded node graph. Yeah, it's a beast, but that's how pros roll. Check out the before and after. You'll see just how far we've taken this piece. First, we start with our beauty pass and strip it into its core channels. Diffuse, specular direct, specular indirect, coat, emission, and more. Each channel gets its own special treatment. Maybe I nudge the specular direct with an exposure node, or crank the specular indirect a bit. No half measures here. Once I've fine-tuned those passes, I bring them back together using a plus operation, rebuilding a more dynamic beauty. Then I punch up the red eye emission, dropping a tight roto mask so the LED glare flares like a rage meter on overload, then slap an extra glow pass on top just to make sure the audience can feel the burn. Background time. Quick reformat to lock the plate, a surgical exposure node to punch the mates, and we slam it under the T-800 with a cryptomate mask so clean it could sign its own death warrant. Color torture follows. A first pass grade welds the endo-steel into the palette, a subtle desat kisses the cold channels, and I yank that over-caffeinated highlight back into the danger zone. Depth of field, easy. Z-depth gets graded, clamped, and shoved into Z-defocus, where a custom iris image punches Hollywood bokeh, so tasty you can almost chew it. I toss in a soft vignette, dragging eyeballs straight to the kill zone, like it owes us money. Now for the secret sauce. Lens FX sprinkles battlefield grime across the glass, chromatic aberration whispers at the frame edge, and a mean grain node bites, just hard enough to feel analog. A fat feature film LUT slaps everything into the same cinematic universe, because streaming service gray is for civilians. Finally, a barely there global glow crowns the shot, because even a murder bot deserves a halo right before the lights go out. Finally, I use my multi-output trick, the one you know and love, to bypass any nuke non-commercial limitations. Want the details? Check out the linked video. No excuses, just pure, unadulterated awesomeness. Alright, lock your retinas on this beast. This is the money shot. So steal the tricks, twist them harder, and light up your own renders till they snarl back.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, you know what to do. Subscribe to my channel for more awesomeness. And I see you guys in the next video.